Alright, what's up, you guys? Before I get into my incredibly kick-ass fucking awesome scholar video, there's something I want to say. A lot of times, I get a bunch of assholes who want to come and talk shit on my channel, which is fine. That's what I do. It's what I'm here for. But then every once in a while, I get the asshole who realizes they were in the wrong and were being fooled and come out and say, hey man, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and I admit it and shit like that. And it's ultra rare, but when it happens, man, it just fucking, it means the world to me. I think it's the best thing, because it's one of the fucking hardest things to do, is to admit you were wrong or that you were being fooled. It's something that's, people just don't want to do. They'd rather just be, oh, I'll just pretend that they're all the videos are real and they're not hoaxing. But my last video I made, I called out Andrew Smellies, and I want to say I apologize to you as well. And he made it a point to come out and say he was sorry, and he's going to try to defend real ufology, calling out Secure Team 10 or Third Phase or any of these other hoaxers. And that's what's important in the world of ufology, that we all come together and we stand up against these fucking hoaxers, because they're never going to take us seriously if we let this shit continue. Third Phase and Moon, Secure Team 10, Look Now TV, all the top UFO channels are all hoaxing channels. And it's like, why do we have to do that? Why does that, they want entertainment, It's like, who cares about that if the UFOs are cool enough? I mean, they're 10 times cooler than that shit. So looking at a fake Star Wars toy or a Photoshop picture, how could that be anywhere near as cool as looking at an actual UFO video? So that's why we need to come together and fight back and say, fuck all this bullshit, and just accept it, And if we can do that, then it'll kick ass. Alright, so after my last video, Aliens in the First Civilization, I received a message from a viewer, Hector Mesa, thank you, liked the video, and asked me if I had seen this object before. Thought it was really cool. Actually, yes, I have. This is the Istanbul Rocketman. Now, he's right, this was found in Turkey. It was brought to everyone's attention by Zachariah Stitchin. He believed it was a man in a rocket ship. Alright, so this is where his head, it's like missing his head, you get it? So he flies around like that. There's the top of the rocket, the thrusters are at the back, and it looks like his arms are folded with his feet and his boots, and he's in a spacesuit. And it, the academics don't know what it is, so they've never come up with an answer for it. And then the ancient astronaut theorists say it's a man in a rocket ship. And so that's like the debate so far. Now, if you can't tell exactly what the shape is, like if he had a little head up there and like a little dome, it would, it'd be like a rocket ship flying around. I'll put up a little drawing so you can see the comparison on what the two would look like. What they're thinking it would look like with the head on it. So that's what they think it would look like. See, it looks like a perfect little rocket, and that's what Zachariah Stitchin said. That's what he believes it is. Then you got the Ancient Aliens Debunked guys, Frank Johnson and Chris White, the Christian fundamentalist. And what did they say? They said, oh yeah, we debunked it. But if you go and you read it, what it is, their whole debunking is based on that this artifact is fake, that it's not real, that it was made just a couple years ago or something like that. It's completely fake, okay? Because it just doesn't fit with anything, in the archaeological record. But I'm about to debunk their debunk again, I think. So tell me what you guys think about this. When I'm looking at it, it reminded me of something, and I said, we're looking at it the wrong way. That's the problem. And when I flip it around and I look at it the correct way, I know, bam, I knew what it was. It reminded me of Mount Nemrut. Now look at these guys right here in Turkey, same thing. All right, look at the similarities between them. Okay, but if you take even like closer detail of certain things, you can really see how similar these things are. Right, like if we look at the back panel right there, That would be like the back shield of this helmet part. All right. See, so that matches up pretty good. I think that's I think that works. Then you can see the carve marks on top where they were like using a chisel to scrape away. You could see the lines there, and see on the other one there's a line there. So I think that lines up with it. And then look at the headbands. See, they got the headbands right there. I believe that lines up with it too. You know, it's almost like a perfect perfect match. And then what about the spaceman? Well, I think that's just left from the beard. Now this would actually be even smaller. They would still carve this down smaller. The reason why they don't know what it is because it's a work in progress. It doesn't match with anything because it's not finished. It's in the middle of being completed. I just gotta say, I'm good. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. That's not bad. Now, this is something else I found really interesting. Is in Kazakhstan, I forget the name of this lake or whatever. They think there's like an ancient city down there, and they found all these cool artifacts. It's like by Armenia or whatever. And one of the artifacts they found was this piece right here. And I looked at that. They don't know what it is. They were like, what kind of writing is it? What does it mean? What does it, resemble? And once again, I was like, I think they're looking at it wrong. You gotta flip it around. And when I flipped it around, I'm looking at it, and then I see all the circles around it with the lines, cutting it, dividing it into pieces, kind of. And then I look at the square, the signal in the middle, and I said, motherfucking Göbekli Tepe. Right? Now this is actually found, right? It's not far from it, So, and then Göbekli Tepe is not just these megalithic T-shaped pillars, but in fact, it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of circles, these concentric rings, all next to each other. These temples, there's like 20 of them or something. See, like this was like the main picture they show you for Göbekli Tepe, but there's a bunch more of these that haven't even been excavated. They're only part way or completely underground still, and they just know they're there from ground penetrating radar. But when you look at it, you can see how it looks like those little circles, and had like those little lines, kind of dividing, sectioning it up. What do you guys think? I think I fucking nailed that too. That is a symbol of Göbekli Tepe. I just gotta say, I'm fucking right. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm fucking right. Come on. That totally matches. They come from the same era, the same area, the same time. I mean, what else could it be? I fucking think I nailed that motherfucker. Now this, I'm not 100% sure that this is just a theory I have. It's just purely speculation. But these tracks in Turkey, some of them say they're like millions of years old, and no one knows what they're for or whatever. I think I do, because of a small toy that was found in Turkey. Now you see this little toy? It was 7,500 years old, but it proves they had the wheel back then. And I believe that those tracks were made by a cart kind of like this, and they modeled it after a bigger cart, just like the Istanbul Rocketman is modeled after the larger stone heads. And so they would put large pieces of stone on there, and then they could move megalithic stones and just kind of roll them around. What do you guys think? I think I fucking nailed it. I mean, I'm good. That's pretty good, right? That's not bad. All right, you guys, UFO proof out.